Hey there, friends. Welcome to another episode of Behind the Mask. I am your host. Oh, who am I? I don't know. Sarah Joy, your friendly neighborhood interrogator turned clone, helping you get to know who the person is behind the screen name. Tonight, we have double trouble. We're actually chatting with Andrew and Mark. You may know them from, well, everywhere. Hi, friends.
Hi.
Hello.
So we are, as we continue on into our third season,
Sure.
fourth. When did we start doing this?
A long time ago.
Yeah, of Behind the Mask. We're gonna start doing something a little different tonight. We're just gonna have a group chat with Mark and Andrew about, well, everything. And my secret agenda is to have them talk about how they've created amazing community and fostered friendships that have spanned from the internet to real life and beyond. So I know, right?
It's not a secret agenda if you tell us what it is, though.
Yeah, but you didn't hear that.
Oh, right. Yes.
I'm just assuming that there are additional lines in this agenda that we don't know.
Okay.
That's what's
This
happening is
is
there's actually a line of text on YouTube that has like if you do every other letter of what I said, then it tells you the real secret agenda.
this is just step 1 of 47. Yeah,
Correct.
of the secret agenda.
Correct. So God help us. Friends. Tell us a little bit about yourselves for folks who are maybe tuning in for the first time, our 40,000 new fans who have joined since we first started this with one person listening.
Mhm.
Who are you?
I'm Mark. I made Nightcast Creative. I make podcasts and stuff. Coruscant Nights, the other place, lots of other stuff too.
Sounds
I
familiar.
also make games with
Make
Fight in a Box. I'm the creative director and a partner in the company, and make board games.
Hmm. And I'm Andrew from the Dicey Cantina, Path of the Storm, many other podcasts. I make podcasts. I trying to write an adventure, so maybe I make games. We'll see. And in the mundane world, I'm a video manager slash director slash producer.
Amazing. I also love that you all know my questions well enough that you just answer them yourself.
I've seen this show once or twice.
Once or
Once or
twice.
twice. Once or twice. So Mark is the reason that we are here. He created Nightcast Creative. He very kindly gave me a space to do this video talk show,
Yeah, it's
not a
podcast.
podcast.
Hmm.
It's not a podcast.
Sure.
To do this video talk show to really help create community here on our amazing Discord channel. If you haven't had an opportunity to pop in yet, you need to. And Andrew is the reason that this happens every month. Then we get on YouTube, we stream on YouTube, that we look good in the video because I could not do this myself. And it is through the support of this amazing team that I just get to show up and talk to people. So
That's half the secret of video producing is just showing up anyway, because it's just like three switches.
yes, yes. Yeah, some of them are gonna be duos, some of them are gonna be special topics. We're just gonna kind of roll with the punches. We had a question in the chat from K White Crystal, one of our favorite people. Andrew might
Oh,
know her from
100%
your
favoriteest person.
It should be. So, but yeah, let's kick this off with how did you guys meet?
Podcasts. Probably Twitter.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I think
back when it
so.
was good um, and useful. Yeah. So when I started doing Coruscant Nights, Twitter was the biggest place for people to find the show, and it was my biggest place for connecting with other podcasts. So I think the first ones that I connected with were um, Flight Risk, Force Majeure, and Dicey Cantina.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I found
yeah.
myself with a big old opening because I had moved right after deciding to start a podcast and getting it all put together, and I lost all my cast, and so um, I was just like this Twitter thing, and Coruscant Nights looks the closest to the thing that I think I'm making. I don't know. Let's try. And I sent Mark a Twitter message that said, "Hey, do you want to be in a podcast?"
Yeah, and I came and played with Joe, and we played Syndra and what was his character's name?
What was his character's name?
He played a Given,
Yeah.
a Given architect who was very moist, if I remember correctly.
Indeed.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
That's awesome. So then, you guys, Andrew, you opened with, "Do you want to be on a podcast?" Mark, you said yes.
Uh-huh.
Y'all hung out on the podcast. How did the friendship blossom from there?
We just kept playing together. Right?
He said
Like,
yes. So let's
I
hang
said
out
yes.
more.
Andrew, you didn't get onto Coruscant Nights for like probably 2 or 3 years after that, but we played on Hopco with AJ. We hung out on the Discord. Dicey got a corner of the Discord,
I did.
even though you have your own. And
I don't like running things.
You don't like running things?
I don't like running things.
That's
I
fine.
like mooching off my friends, apparently.
I'm okay running things and providing space for cool people. So, yeah.
Wait, does that mean I'm a cool person?
Yeah.
That didn't sound forced at all. Thank you. I'll pay you the $20 later.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
If you're on the Nightcast Discord, you're a cool person.
That's very true. That's very true. Let's, I do want to talk about that too. Mark, you've created an amazing community here. Andrew, you're part of that amazing community and you're part of the reason it is so amazing. Like, what are your secrets? How are you a good person?
How are we good people? I will say about the community that the shows, Coruscant Nights and the other place, are about individuals rather than being like group shows, you know? Like it's not a party. It's a group, it's series of single or duos. And it's just about all of these different people telling their stories. And that's kind of something that the Discord is about. Like we've got space for all of these other podcasts to talk about their shows. I hope there's space for people to feel like they can talk about themselves. I know there is, but yeah.
Yeah. Love that. Andrew, at what moment did you decide Mark was going to be your friend?
I think it was shortly after we spent an entire Dicey Cantina episode making a bathroom plan.
That didn't happen.
And then not doing the bathroom
I was upset.
plan. And
I'm a little upset the bathroom plan didn't happen.
That irritation was like, yeah, Mark and I are going to be friends.
That was there was no planned retaliation, but you derailed my plan. I shortly thereafter derailed your plan.
Uh-huh.
A little bit of back and forth there.
As it should be.
Uh-huh.
Mark, was that the same moment that you were like, this guy?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. Like I knew after that Andrew and Joe, the three of us, if not together, we're going to be playing lots of games in the future.
I love it.
Yeah, very fun, very funny time.
So one reason I wanted to talk about this is it people have a very hard time in society today, in our generations and younger, like making friends and trying to figure out how to talk to other people, how to start a conversation, how to figure out like how to build that friendship, and yours has blossomed so wonderfully. So first, you invite somebody to your podcast. That's the first step.
Mm-hmm.
Then you make a bathroom plan and it all goes wrong.
all goes wrong. Were we gonna like cherry bomb the toilets? Was that the plan?
Yeah. Well, first you were gonna back things up and
Yeah,
then cherry bomb the toilet, and then
yeah.
it was all to be a distraction. And then I think it was Joe who derailed it first with deciding to just distract to make the bathroom plan happen. And it
Oh,
was
distract to start the distraction.
yes.
You need a distraction for the distraction.
And then it was why not just that works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So uh invite somebody into your party, whether that is onto your show or as a bard or a paladin or whatever else. And if you like them, keep them there. Do your best to maintain that friendship.
I love it. So what are some hallmarks of what do you all think some hallmarks are of yourself that you've cultivated that makes you a good friend? So I'm asking this introspectively.
Well, it's definitely my humility and my ability to find all the flaws in myself and nothing good. Does that help not answer the question?
That super helps not answer the question.
I've been told I'm a good listener. I try to maintain that goodness.
I love that. Andrew, were you serious? Because I thought you were making a joke.
I was definitely making a joke. I was trying to cover while I thought of a serious answer,
Uh-huh.
and I'm still covering.
Okay.
But I
Okay.
also don't like dead air, so I'm just kind of rambling at this point. But the the most generic answer I can give, because I don't have like a good. I'm not a wise old sage on top of a mountain.
I don't agree
It's
with you,
just
but continue.
do things. Um,
Uh-huh.
is the rule I try and live by. I saw a lot of people in my high school and just after high school age be very Debbie Downers about things. And because things aren't going to turn out great the first time, like why bother? And then I realized how miserable that is. And so just being out there, it's okay um, to 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 do things.
Yeah, that's something that I run into like as part of my job. Um, Even last week I was doing um, I was a guest speaker for some um, local college students in a couple of their illustration classes, and um, sometimes things are hard, but having fun is important. Like we're in the business. I mean, business. I say that we don't make money. We're in the business of fun here. We're like, it's all about keeping things fun, and uh, not everything has to be like serious and work and all that stuff.
I love it. Which goes into friendships, right? Because like serious I'm trying to think of I'm very lucky. I have two amazing besties and a really amazing circle in like multiple circles in multiple places, multiple states where I live. But it really is about like being able to be vulnerable together and come like genuinely, and also being able to have fun together. Like
Hmm.
that cements a bond, and we're really lucky to have gaming as a social lubricant to help facilitate that fun. Right, it gives us a framework for our fun. It's something that we already know that we all enjoy. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love it. What is some advice that you would give to someone who's trying to be a good friend?
I would jump and say just actually be intentional about it. Like If you want friends, be friendly. And being yourself and being friendly are the two quickest ways to find people who gel with that.
Yeah.
And then you'll more naturally gravitate towards people who are compatible friends.
I agree with that. I don't really have anything good to add. That's good.
It's really good. It's also a good way to endear yourself to serial killers to make sure that you don't get killed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it started.
It's also a good way for serial killers to endear themselves to potential victims.
Ooh,
Goes
I
both
guess that
ways.
is true. That's right. Never go to anybody's house without somebody else having the address.
If you're a serial killer, please don't watch this show. It's not for you.
It's not for you.
Unless you're reforming, and then maybe you should watch it to be a good person.
Okay.
Just don't invite me to your house.
There you go. We covered that.
There we go.
We
Check
got through the
mark.
serial killer portion of the show.
Yes, done with the true crime portion. Safety tips.
Now just wait for the cannibalism portion.
I have been playing entirely too much Cult of the Lamb, so this could go real dark real quick.
I've seen you go real dark real quick.
You have. You have. That is the episode that will never see the light of day. When you ask Mark, how dark can I go? And he's like, yeah, no, you're good doing whatever. And then you go real dark and he's like, no, that's a real dark place. You have to be like, okay.
Maybe we'll get like the first 3/4 of that episode out at some point.
Woohoo. Like, Rogue One thought it was depressing. Anyway, but yeah, speaking of being genuine, being yourself, and being a friend, like, it is important to I think have boundaries and be clear about boundaries with people.
Mhm.
Mark.
Mhm.
That's a great segue.
That's right. It is. How have you dealt with boundaries in friendships, especially at the age at which we all are?
I suppose I have been lucky enough not to have to deal with too many cross boundaries. For me, it comes down to asking before talking if something seems like it might be a sensitive subject. That's about it. Um, I mean, if we're playing games, we do our session 0. We come up with the sensitive topics, the no-fly zones, the all that sort of stuff, um, lines and veils and all that goodness. Um, we don't really have that as much for life, so you have to sort of introduce that where you think boundaries might be hiding.
Or you just play games with all.
What was that?
I said, or you just play games with all your friends.
Yeah, or you just treat life like a game.
Pretty much what I do.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's all just a big game to you, isn't it?
I
Yep.
like it. Andrew?
What was the question again?
That's a great question.
How do you deal with boundaries?
Boundaries.
Yeah.
Yes. I had an
For
answer for
real
that.
humans our age.
Mm.
Yeah.
My go-to mental mantra is just transparency. I don't expect others to know what I haven't said. And then, so I try and make sure that I speak out loud of where I'm at. Oh, I don't like that. In a non-judgmental way, if needed. And then encourage others with that same transparency of just like, and hey, if something's happening, just say it. You know, let me know. I'm not ignoring something important to you. And so I just that being intentional and then being transparent, I think, help a ton, because people know what they're getting, and not everybody is going to be friends with everybody at the same level. So if I'm transparent, I'm attracting the other friends that are uh, more gel with that, and the people who don't appreciate that as much might keep a little bit more of a distance, and it keeps conflict low, I think, by being transparent, which I think helps.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with you. I very much do the same thing. I am myself mostly 100% of the time, 99% of the time, except when I have to curb myself for work. But there's a lot
That's
to be
what's made
said
some
for
of my
that.
more recent jobs more enjoyable, was going into the interview process of, I'm just going full transparent here. And if you hire this is what you're getting.
Yeah.
And then I
Well,
got
it
hired,
makes
and I'm
it
just going to be that way.
easier. Right. Like with job interviews and like friendships are very comparable to me to dating. And this maybe I'm coming at this from like more an ACE framework maybe, but like if you're trying to find somebody that you're compatible with, why would you put on a face that's not your own?
Yeah.
Right. So because then you're just going to be disappointed, and they're going to be disappointed when suddenly the person who they've been hanging out with or they've been working with
Has been hiding
isn't
behind a mask.
is hiding behind a mask, one could say.
Oh, they said the title in the show.
I know. Ugh, don't you hate when they do that? It's like breaking the fourth wall. I
Kind of love when they do it.
hate I love that you got onto that way before I did. But yeah, so what was one of your favorite friendship moments? And it doesn't have to be between you two, but like we'll just ship you all and think it's adorable if you tell us. In a game with a friend.
In a game? Does it have to be in a game?
No, because you
Because we
just
could
thought
talk
of
about
something.
Root Beer Day.
Oh, Root Beer
What's
Day.
your-
You should talk about Root Beer
Beer
Day. I want to hear your take on Root Beer
Okay.
Day.
So Andrew and his family have this tradition for National Root Beer Float Day, where they make root beer floats. And 3 years ago, we met for the first time at Gen Con in Indianapolis, and Root Beer Float Day happened to be during Gen Con. So Andrew and I got on really dangerous scooters and flew through Indianapolis. I'm getting pointed at like I can never ride on one of those scooters again, which I won't because I felt like I was going to die. But we scooted through Indianapolis to find a grocery store, got some ice cream, got some root beer, uh, and made our root beer floats. Andrew called his family and shared the experience with all of them while we were doing it.
Oh, that's so cute.
It was
I
a ton of
love that.
fun.
Yeah,
I did really enjoy you on the scooter too.
I hated it every second of it.
I think that's what made it so amusing, was how much you hated that scooter.
But sometimes these are the things that we do for our friends, right? We know
It was
we know
memorable.
that
Yeah.
our friend, yeah. It's creating those memories too, right? And that having that ability to go outside of our comfort zone when we know that it's gonna bring joy to our friend in safe ways. Um, bring joy to our friend, is so important. Oh,
I think if we're
oh,
talking in game, there are lots of moments with various people from Andrew to AJ, Doug, Joe, Erica, everybody who I play with, where we kind of all know what's going to happen next. That's my favorite. Like we have been playing long enough that we're all on the same wavelength. We know where this is going, and we're going to make it happen.
I love that.
I don't really have any good specific examples of that, but it seems to happen all the time where we're just in the same zone when we play games.
Yeah,
It's fun.
I can
feel
echo
like
that.
Yeah.
There was
So,
also an aha moment for me
Okay.
when we first started Hopco. And AJ was describing, he was running this Mad Max encounter for us.
Oh yeah,
And he's
where I played the
describing
dog.
everything. And I just leave. Like, I choose my
Yeah,
character, just leave the whole scene because I thought that I knew what was going on. And I didn't. I missed some crucial details. Um, but the thing from that came like, oh, we're just going to leave again. And someone said, we're again. And then for me, I was like, I am always leaving the plot behind. I had no idea I was actually doing that. I thought I was doing a great job. And I wasn't doing a bad job. But at the same time, it's leaving lots of GM notes on the floor for a lot of people. It's half a favorite moment for me of just realizing it's something that I do unintentionally.
I like that. That's awesome. So yeah, no. So one of the ways that we grow, right, is our friends do reflect back to us. We can see in our friendships who we are. So Mark, I don't know, drop some wisdom there. I don't know. Have you? This is what you're like. Guess who's had a long day at work? But have you had a moment where you've either gotten some feedback from a friend, be it in a game or something else, that's helped you examine a part of yourself?
the tough question. You're not like asking what's your favorite food. One
What's
of the
your favorite
questions that's in
color?
the chat is what's your favorite color? Come on, I can answer that. Um, something that's come back to have me reflect upon myself. That is a tough one, especially because I've played a lot of games with a lot of friends, and a lot of them have left me. Uh, uh, a lot of them have um, left an impression. Um, whether that is the story that I'm helping to tell with the GM. He keeps coming up in this one, but the one that comes to mind is one of the last things I played with Joe on New Republic Radio, which I believe is still out there. You can listen to where my brother Doug and I played Yuzum Brothers. I feel like that was a really impactful story that had me thinking about it well beyond the ending. Um, and I feel like I would have a better answer to this question if I was uh, if I played a PC more often than I play the GM. Um, because those are the ones where like I bring a bit of myself to a character. So when that character goes through something, it affects me more so than Tammy, the Aqualish neighbor, or whatever random NPC we've got. Probably doesn't answer your question, but it is an answer.
It is an answer. It is an answer, right? Like, and that makes a lot of sense too. You both do GM. How do you how do you use that to? Mm, no, that's going to be way too leading. So I have another friend who GMs.
Mm-hmm.
I've got lots of friends who GM because I refuse. Although Mark, he played in one of my
I did.
only games that I've GM'd. Um,
All I remember about that is my character made like noxious clouds of toots, just toot clouds.
yes, it was amazing. It was pure chaos. Um, I love it. But um, a friend who GMs, his son has started GMing. We're gonna keep doing my brothers, sisters, cousins, mothers, fathers, best friends, whatever. But he has used his GM experience because he's only GM'd for his friends to help guide his friends in things that they're working on, like personally, and giving them opportunities in the game to grow and test things that they're working on that they wouldn't be otherwise. Um, I don't know. I love that you're both shaking your heads, yes, because I feel like this is something you have done. So please, please.
I
Is
don't
this
think it's
something
something
that you
I've
have done or
done
you've thought about?
purposefully,
Okay.
but looking back on stuff that I've done, I think I can see that. And I probably don't want to quote any specific examples with it, but I can see where games of Coruscant Nights, and specifically Coruscant Nights, may have helped the players work through some specific things that they were working on themselves.
Mhm. I love
Yeah.
it. Do you think that comes through intuition? I'm curious.
Um, I mean, it's their character, right? Like they build the character, and um, I have an idea of what's going to happen, but it's never 100%. More like 12% usually of what's going to happen. Um, and I think it is. I'm probably being far too vague for any of this to be interesting, but
I
the
don't agree. Yeah.
okay, like the stuff that these characters go through may even reflect uh, personal ideas um, that I don't know about. So I end up just playing off of what they are feeding me, um,
Mhm.
which hopefully helps them on their journey.
I
Yeah.
think a lot of that's the strength of doing a lot of what we do, which is character based storytelling with the podcast that we create. Because not every game has to be played the way that we play them for the podcast, and sometimes I even make the distinction of like we're not recording this because we're going to play it very differently than this, but kind of breaking it down into that like one or two people, kind of you get a lot more kind of intimate character driven story by making those one offs so that kind of in that manner. And then in doing so, I think you encourage your players, that even they themselves, as Mark was saying, may not even intentionally know that they're putting into the character to kind of work through. So I don't know that like I could put a finger on anything in particular that's happened where I'm like, oh, that was should go this way to help them. But I think it's by the nature of kind of how it exists of how we play games.
Yeah, and I
I
think
can cite a specific example that I think I'm actually pretty sure AJ has talked about this before, so this is like not proprietary information or anything. But the in the first set of Mir episodes that we played, his mentor Farvo is somebody that he and I talked quite a bit about ahead of time. It was based on somebody that was important to AJ. Um, so it was my interpretation of a real person, but then having that real person who was AJ's mentor be his character's mentor in the game.
I love that. I so I'm trying to figure out how to word this. So maybe you two can help me. Um, I think we as human beings can have a habit, especially as immature human beings, of centering ourselves in the worlds we build and centering ourselves in the story that we tell. What or how have you all figured out? Like, what ways have you figured out to, or how have you figured out to um, decenter yourself and lift the person who you're playing with up so that they're the star? I think this has a lot to do with friendship as well. Like, it's not always about us.
I'll go first as I think of the answer off the top of my head. I kind of what struck me about that concept is for me in my personal life that's just kind of been a central theme throughout the different stages of my life. I played a lot of team sports in high school and middle school. And so I became very focused on if the team does well, I'm doing well. If I make myself do well, the team isn't necessarily doing well. And then wanting to be a big hotshot Hollywood director, learning video production, I did a lot of interviews and documentaries and things like that because those are the lower budget productions you can be a part of. And it's really important when you're doing documentary work and everything to ask those questions to elevate the person who's in front of the camera. It doesn't matter me behind the camera asking the questions what I'm doing. The only way that people are going to enjoy the video is if they get to know the person in front of the camera. And so it's just kind of each stage of life has always been about the person in front of me, of elevating them up. And so I just kind of naturally fall into it. But I think it's important. It certainly is, I don't want to say required, but is helpful in friendships and friend banking and all that community building that we're talking about, is looking at someone and lifting them up with you.
I don't know that Coruscant Nights is fully decentralized. Yeah, it is about all these different people, but ultimately it's about greed, right? It's about greedy people in the background.
I don't think that's what what Coruscant Nights is about at all.
It's not about the Dims taking and taking and taking, and about Future Forward Galactic taking and taking and taking.
It's about people living in a world. Like, it's about people living in a world that's reality, but making their own stories, making their own way, and being the hero of their own tale.
It's how these individuals deal with the central themes.
Let me disagree with you about what your podcast is actually about.
I don't know. I might lean a little bit more towards SJ on this one.
Okay.
I think you've got the motivations down, as any good GM would. But I think your themes come from your players, the way that you play with the players. I think that's the theme of them.
Yeah.
Them creating it. So it might be more decentralized than you think.
I think so, because it is on a whole very uplifting.
Yeah.
And there's
For now.
For now, yeah, okay.
We're just waiting for season 3.
We know that our two definitions of dark are very different. So I still find it very uplifting. Yeah. And this is Juniper, who purrs.
In trouble.
Yeah. So cute. Sounds like a bunch of individual selfish stories. They all think the world's revolve around them. It's a comment from Dustbuster in the chat. But yeah, like being able to be the person who can focus on other people, I think it's wonderful. You also hear stories that you would never hear otherwise. Like what would be the vehicle to hear about AJ's mentor? Like, that may never come up.
Correction, Erica. The world revolves around Carp, not Connie.
The world does revolve around Carp. We all know it, especially Carp.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
That's the problem.
Yeah. I love it. All right, we're gonna take it a little lighter, and go into some of the questions in the chat. Oh, I already got AJ's. How did you two meet? I didn't even look. Excuse me. Ooh. Goals for 2025. But like, let's make this a little different. What is something that you hope for the other person for 2020?
Great success for the Foxglove letters. I want tons of people to listen to it and realize it's amazing.
Aw. And here I am going on the selfish route of I just want Other Place season 3.
Yeah. I mean, recording it is a goal. I have hopes for Other Place season 3 for next year. It's been 2 years since the last season ended.
It has. I just looked at it.
I'm on a movie timeline with that
Yeah.
show.
That makes sense.
Movie
Wait,
sequels
big
timeline.
production.
Yeah.
It's big
Yeah.
production. So, yes, I like it. I like it. All right. If you two were Power Rangers, what color would you be, and what would your Zords be?
Well, Andrew, you've played a Power Ranger,
I
so
have played a Power Ranger. I ended up playing what? The Red Ranger?
yeah.
And that sounds about right. Like I would want to be like the Green Ranger or the cool one, but I'm going to end up being like red or maybe blue.
I feel like I should consult that book. I might not be one of the main colors. I
You
might
don't
be
have to be
like
the main color. Who says you have to be that?
I would love to be the Power Ranger that is the color of one of those iridescent green beetles
Ooh,
that goes from like black to green
Yeah.
to purple. Yeah, that's the one.
Chroma Ranger.
And that would also be my Zord.
The beetle.
Beetle.
Yeah.
Nice. What would be yours, Andrew?
I mean, the only Power Rangers I ended up watching was the original, so I think I end up in that T-Rex. Right? Big mouth, stubby arms, can't do a lot on his own.
I feel like you have some subtext to this.
I was just explaining why maybe that matches me.
Except you do a lot. You do a lot on your own. So yeah, I love it. Oh yeah, what sea kangaroo would you be? That's my favorite question to ask in the entire world. That's a conversation from the chat here. All right, what is the best complimentary sauce for foods?
Hot.
Mustard?
You want to get
And
specific?
mustard.
Andrew, you should try. Let's see. There's a really good hot mustard, like a hot sauce mustard by, gosh, Fat Cat. Yeah,
I'll have to try
not
some.
super spicy, a little bit sweet. Uh, it's I think it's a Jamaican hot mustard.
Jamaican hot mustard?
Yeah, it's got
That sounds
something
really
in
good.
it to make the Jamaican part make sense. I don't remember what it is. Possibly the peppers.
I love it. Apparently you're getting that this week, Andrew.
My top actually currently is Momofuku chili crunch. That's going on everything right now.
Mm.
Ooh,
It's
where
really
can we
good.
get them?
I got it at Target. I've seen it at World Market. There are a lot of chili crunches out there. Not all of them are great.
But Momofuku comes recommended.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. What's your favorite thing about playing games with each other?
Well,
That
Mark
it
already
can-
said it.
What?
It's the getting into the sync of knowing
Yeah,
how
yeah.
the story's going to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
The ability to go from serious to very not serious in the same session is also good.
Mm.
Like we can have a good serious adventure with some good jokes.
I love it. When you first met in person, what surprised you most about the other person?
I
I
don't
love
know.
when Mark makes that face.
I wasn't looking at Mark's face. Oh no.
I don't know.
Oh,
I
I
don't
was
know what
looking
my
at Mark's
face was
face.
saying. I don't know.
I mean, maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but for me, meeting you in person, Mark, was more meeting an old friend than it was meeting
Yeah.
someone for the first time. So
We had known
nothing.
each other for years
Yeah.
at that point.
How long did you guys know each other before you met in person?
Probably like 2017 or 18 to 2022.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Moved in
Yeah,
2017. Yeah,
like
so it's,
5-ish years.
yeah. It's been a while. It feels like it
Yeah,
hasn't been very long.
yeah.
I'm doing the math now in my head, and it's not. You guys have known each other for like 7 years, 8 years.
Maybe. Yeah,
Depends on how the math comes out.
Right.
sure.
What month? What time zone? Oh, I love that.
I'll
I
have to
love
find
that.
my Twitter password to
That's
find that message, and then I can know.
You log into your Twitter. Is that what you have to do?
To find the password. I don't know what it is. I haven't been in
deleted
Twitter in a
mine
long time.
years ago.
Yeah.
somebody's hacked the account. It's gone. I love that. Okay. I love it. Someone says your friendship. Erica says your friendship is the same age as my child.
There we go.
Oh, God. Ouch, Erica. Oh my gosh. So like in meeting people in person too that you've only ever chatted with on the internet, I personally I don't ever think it's awkward because we all talk to each other so much. Have you ever had an experience where it was awkward? Please do not name names.
Meeting somebody in real life.
Yeah.
From the Nightcast server, I think I've only met like people who I didn't know before the whole thing. I've only met like 2 people, and it hasn't been awkward in either case. You know who you are.
That's right. I met one of you two at the same time. And
It is
was
an exclusive club.
wonderful. Yeah. Nice. So we are the age where we remember life before internet, and then the wild
days.
west of internet, and now internet today. Do you have any friends that you met at the dawn of the internet that you're still friends with?
My wife.
Hey, that
I
was going to
guess.
be my answer.
Really?
Been 18, 20 years.
But like you met them on the internet.
Oh no.
Because you didn't meet me. Yeah, I know
No.
where you met your wife. No judgment against that. You're getting
No, I
all
don't.
that hardcore in the chat.
I don't think I know anybody from the dawn of the internet. From the internet. I wasn't
Those were different
really in
times.
public places at the dawn of the internet. Like I had my website. Yeah. I was an early adopter to an art website. But yeah, that's it.
Okay. Everyone has to think about this. Andrew's busy answering his other half in the chat.
Defending myself. We did not meet online in any capacity.
I mean, it's something like they're up to like 60-some% of people now meet online exclusively. So
That seems low.
I mean,
yeah. It seems low.
yeah.
Yeah, it does seem low. It does seem low. There's still like the gym and other places that people go, I guess, when they leave their house. What is that?
I interact with all of you a lot more than people out in the world.
It's true. For me as well, is what I mean to say.
It is for me as well. I think I interacted
Yes.
with you too.
Yes. Dustbuster, you are my world.
Yes. I love it. I love it. Okay. What's some advice that you would give our fellow friends here on Nightcast Creative about being a friend?
That we haven't already given?
That we haven't already given. I know I've gotta pull out some more wisdom for you. We got 4 minutes left here, Mark.
Because my go-to, we've already said, is to have fun, because things can be hard, and we have to remember to make room for enjoyment, for play, I mean, it's hard to make room for play when you work all day, you come home, um, and whether that's by yourself, if you're playing whatever video game, or popping out the board games with one other person, or playing an RPG with a bunch of other people. Um, uh, Play is an important part of life that I feel like a lot of people forget is an important thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just for kids.
I do it either, but it does take practice.
Mhm. Advice I have would be, there's a better way to say it, but it's not as weird as you think it is.
No, that's a great piece of advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Hard stop. That's the advice.
Yeah. It applies to so many things. Oh my god, I love it. All right, and then ultimately, if you were a sea kangaroo, what color would you be, and let's see what you different answer from the last.
What color and what sea?
Mm-hmm. You also don't have to limit yourself to one color.
I would be pearlescent, and would be in the which planet is it? Which moon? Which of Jupiter's moons
Oh
has
my
the
god, I was
sea?
just thinking about that.
Is it
Europa.
Europa? Yeah, I'd be
Titan.
pearlescent kangaroo, sea kangaroo in Europa's sea below its crust,
Europa has
hoping someday to
the
ride a geyser out into space.
Ooh.
I love that. Stop reading my mind.
I just thought way too practical about this, and I'm now way jealous of Mark's answer.
You can make
I figured I'd be like aquamarine, disappointed I'm not forest green, and living in the Caspian Sea.
Epic Realms over on YouTube is asking, if we were a pepper, what kind of pepper would we be and why?
Ooh, that's a good one. If you were a pepper, what kind of pepper would you be and why? Thanks, Epic Realms.
Epic Realms. I think I would be a Scotch bonnet. A little spicy, a little sweet, and my favorite kind of pepper.
There you go.
I think I'd be a jalapeno.
Oh, okay.
Not as spicy or cool as I think I am. I'm way more abundant, and the most generic pepper one can think of.
Other than a green pepper.
Yeah, bell.
Yeah.
Bell pepper. Yeah, bell peppers are like green, yellow, and red.
Mm-hmm.
And purple.
That's an
Yeah,
eggplant.
purple special.
Oh, it's a special one. It's not an eggplant.
I mean, that's different, but yeah.
So, awesome. Well, thanks, friends. We've done the thing.
We did the thing.
We did the thing.
You asked us all the most difficult questions. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. That's what I got for you tonight. We're going to continue to do duos. If you have a dynamic duo that you would like to chat on here with, or a special topic that you want to talk about, yeah. Yes, Crystal, I wanted this to be friendship themed. I'd said that in our chat, and I think everybody forgot until we got on here. But just shoot me a message. You can find me on the Nightcast Creative channel. I'm wannabe Supergirl. No, not spelled like that. And you can also DM me on Discord. I am more than happy to chat with you and arrange that We will be returning in the new year at some point. So we'll let you know. Again, everything's on the Nightcast Creative Discord. Highly recommend that you pop over there. Mark and Andrew, thank you so much for just talking with us and discussing friendship, discussing yourselves, and tolerating me for the last 4 years. Because I think we started in 2021.
Yeah,
So,
that's right. Well, thanks
Yeah.
for having us for this first duo.
yeah, only fitting. All right, friends. With that, we're gonna hop off the internet. Thank you all so much. Mark and Andrew, please remind them where they can find you on the interwebs.
Andrew?
You can find the stuff that I do. I do a lot of recording podcasts. Sometimes I edit them. Anything I'm making, you can find at diceycantina.com eventually when I update the website. Otherwise, come to the Nightcast Discord. It is the main place to talk with me. And I'd be happy to talk with you and be your friend.
Oh, yeah.
You can find me making all the things, most of the things, Nightcast Creative. Coruscant Nights, new episodes hopefully coming out with the winter solstice. The other place, hopefully coming out winter solstice 2024 or 2025. More Tales from the Grey Library. We've got some more sessions recorded. And maybe a secret unnamed new podcast coming out sometime in the new year.
Cryptid.
No, not cryptids.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, friends, so much. And friends, we will see you next time. Until then, we will see you on the Discord. Quick.